Hi, my name is Randy Blauss, and I'm the Director of Harborcrest Counseling in Pomona. I'm a clinician with a Master's in Psych and Master's in Social Work, and do a lot of different work with children, adolescents, and adults with a number of different conditions, from post-traumatic stress to depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, and a whole bunch of other conditions. A number of the people that I work with have been affected by what we call post-traumatic stress. And if it's over a smaller time, we call it a slightly different condition called acute stress disorder. But when I see somebody coming in with a number of symptoms which include feeling somewhat numb or shut down, when I see somebody coming in with difficulty feeling, hypervigilance, which is being more nervous or afraid or unsure what's going to happen, but having that sense of free-floating anxiety, when I have somebody that winds up either being depressed or going into panic, depending on what occurs, with no clear idea of what kicks it up, and denial, and sometimes other signs, then I start looking at what's called post-traumatic stress. I'm going to read you a bunch of different symptoms to kind of put a name and a piece of data that can really give you an idea what the flavor of this issue, problem, reaction for people that have gone through hell have. One of the first symptoms or symptom groups is physical. When somebody gets traumatized, they may feel fatigue and nausea, muscle tremors, fatigues, increased heart rate, increased blood pressure, headaches. They may grind their teeth. They may feel like shock symptoms or fainting. Those don't always have to be there, but those are signs when something that is traumatic had just occurred. For example, the buildings coming around in 9/11 and seeing the devastation, going into your home and seeing everything blown away or missing. Those kinds of feelings that are just so overwhelming that our body feels like running, fighting, or shutting down. Emotionally, or regarding the cognitively, we may feel like blaming someone, not always, but there could be poor attention, poor decisions, confusions, just a blank stare of not knowing what to do, what to think, what to feel. There could be what we call hypervigilance. It's the sense of, I got to watch everything, I got to keep my eyes open, because we're afraid to bring that down. Sometimes we go to the other extreme and shut down totally, and that's problematic as well. We may have problems with memory or poor concentration. When something's very acute, we may not be able to identify symptoms or people. We may have poor and abstract thinking. We may lose track of time or place or where we are, again, when that's more acute. Nightmares, to me, are very significant. They're not meaning somebody's crazy, but they sometimes can be symbolic of what's going on. So when somebody's having those kinds of things go on, as a therapist, I want to know. We can have intrusive images. Intrusive images can be in a number of different ways. I had somebody who was driving by a cornfield one day and thought of killing somebody. Did not want to get out of the car and do it, didn't want to act out in it, but thought to themselves, what the hell am I thinking? Or those types of thoughts that pop in, we can't figure out why. They're not a desire to. They're intrusive. They're more of what I call OCD type symptoms. But those intrusive images may be there. Frequently I see anxiety, guilt, grief. I see panic attacks or anxiety, shock, fear, uncertainty. Our emotional response that seems out of proportion to what's going on. Where we react and we go, what the hell did I do that for? Well, it's been stimulated by a lot of the crap that we've held in. Depression, apprehension, intense anger, irritability, and agitation can be there. All of those types of symptoms may be present. Behaviorally, we can see change in activity, change in speech, shutdown or withdrawal. With kids, we may see play that's kind of similar or drawings that's similar to what's going on. People can become more suspicious or untrusting. Loss or increase of appetite. Bulimia, eating and purging. Anorexia nervosa or anorexia. Cutting and carving one's arms. Putting cigarettes in one's arms. Carving the word bitch in one's arms. All of those self-mutilation things. Alcohol, drug use, compulsive sex. Addictions of all types are ways that we try to deal with all that's going on, thinking that we're crazy when the issue is more that we need help. And again, it's reaction to horrific circumstances, not craziness. We may have somatic reactions. In other words, we may feel irritable bowel, asthma, stress, pain in the neck, pain in the back. Those are some of the reactions that come from PTSD. Also, they can work the other way. If a guy had put his hand on the back of the head of one of the girls that I work with that has been sexually abused, being touched can pick up the feeling. Well, she doesn't understand why. She and I together are co-detectives in putting that connection together. Whether it be a smell that somebody smelled before a crisis occurred, like Lysol in one case, or a set of words that had one guy shut down in class because it was something that he used to hear when verbally abused. My job as therapist is to help to provide those connections, then to help build those skills to feel better. We can be hyper alert, and there's a number of other signs. The therapist's job is to, together with you, be a co-detective, to introduce terms like trigger and response, to let you know that trauma is like having a tank in which a whole bunch of crap that can be put in that we don't want to deal with at a particular time. I don't want to talk about it, I don't want to think about it, I just want to forget it. Into where we fill that tank so freaking full that sometimes gets touched on and explodes and we don't know why. As a therapist, you, if I'm doing therapy with someone, are in charge of that tank. I don't take a shovel and go in, I don't wail on it with the hammer. We decide together. If you choose to feel it's okay to open that tank, we do it together, we handle it together. If you say no, no doesn't mean yes if I want to, and you say no. No means no. And we can let it open a little bit at a time. We don't want to put on to head for the whole damn thing, make a lot of mess. No. By settling the dirt to the side together, we help make it through. In less time than people would normally think it would be. There is hope. There is help. We don't have to be defined by what we've been through or who we've been, but who we are. And traumatic things happen to good people. Sometimes people say, what I went through wasn't traumatic enough. What I tell them is, cut that out. What you went through is traumatic, we can make it through. That you don't have to get 7 out of 10, or whatever sound of a score. If the stuff that I've been reading with has sounded like it fits, then it does. I'll be providing more information in another video. Please also do feel free to either respond on whatever these YouTube pages respond to, or to Randy@harborcrest.com. Do take care of yourself, and I hope to hear from you.